On this Thursday evening, August the 27th, welcome to Human Unity Project Group. This group has been appointed to introduce you to the second principle of life for effective living that directs your attention to those with whom you are sharing this precious gift of life. This eternal and spiritual principle of life is the second key needed for entering into the kingdom of heaven. Human beings are said to have been created in the image and in the likeness of the one and only source of life, which means, as heaven's crowning achievement, we possess the ability to emulate the eternal and spiritual source of life while we perform our earthly duties as our Creator's representatives on earth. Our Creator, as our Father, is also our eternal and spiritual senior partner in creating and in creations. We've been placed in a position of trust that assigns you and me to rule over the land, air, and sea creations as we learn how to rule over our own animalistic nature and bring our conduct into conformity with the will of heaven. Overcoming is taking on that part of our flawed nature requiring our attention and redirecting it to conform with the will of our Father in heaven. We are not, however, permitted to rule over those with whom we will share this precious gift of life. Each is to exercise the control over self as expressed from the boardroom of creation and strive to gain full control over the animalistic nature that we all possess. Caring for others as we're to care for ourselves sums up how the relationship is to be established with others. Perhaps this principle of life for entering into life is a most difficult principle to embrace and act upon, but it remains a necessity if we're to enter life as planned for us as heaven's crowning achievement. Understanding the value and worth of each created in the image and likeness of our one and only source of being is certainly necessary if we're to make that successful transformation from physical to spiritual. In our era, with the numerous divisive and competing political religious movements, little is understood regarding the eternal and spiritual second principle of life. If we're to enter into life as encouraged, we must perfect our connection with others to the extent possible. We're very thankful that there are a number of fail-safe systems in place that ensure our eventual success in reaching the level of maturity at which we're able to embrace others as equals at this Academy of Life. Let me remind you that while the gift of life is always a free gift, we're also responsible for choosing the various next levels of living, using the process expressed from the mouth of our source of life, who again is our senior partner in life. Higher levels of life will never be forced upon anyone. It's understood that most are not aware of this initial life faith. So our senior partner in life, our Creator and Father, has other fail-safe systems that have been put in place to ensure the eventual success of heaven's crowning achievement for entering into Phase 2 of life. You were charged and placed in charge of your little corner of the world to get busy and to stay busy dressing things up and keeping or maintaining what you're able to successfully tidy up. We're encouraged to focus on our own families first and then help out in our local communities. We're not to become all tied up with everything going on in the world around us, because that is not where we fit in. We have our local assignments with our family and our community as we promote the will of heaven. We're in charge of amazing things our Creator has placed in our charge. We can make the world a better place in which to live. We can learn to embrace life and express a deeper appreciation for this amazing gift of life. We're also able to learn how to effectively embrace others as equals as we strive to create that healthier self-image so we can begin feeling better about ourselves. Loving our neighbor as ourselves certainly requires that we have some mature approach to our own life, our own existence. And we do that by developing the skills, talents, and abilities that have been granted to us from the boardroom of creation. We represent the giver of life. We represent the one who breathed into the nostrils of our first parents that eternal and spiritual breath of life. We're living souls. This was a gift. The physical various levels of life at the Academy are up to us to choose as living souls. The physical has been used and is to be used for helping us to gain more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the spiritual. I think it's an amazing and incredible situation we find ourselves in here at the Academy of Life. It's a wonderful understanding when you stand before our Creator who says, I created you in my image and likeness. I'm putting you in charge of my creation. Put you in charge of yourself. I put you into a flawed environment so you can perfect it. Every human being is created flawed, so each can perfect himself or herself, and we're in charge. I think it's an amazing understanding. Creating a working relationship with others is a physical exercise that comes with eternal and spiritual benefits. Caring for others as we're to care for ourselves is one of the three major keys to that kingdom that we strive to enter. Focusing on creating a team for making our world a better place in which to live sends a very positive message to our Father in heaven, who is our senior partner in creating. Here we are. Send us. That's an incredible statement. Let's get busy. We have a lot to do to make our world a better place in which to live. We can do it, but we have to separate ourselves from that which has no idea about making our world a better place in which to live. We answer only to our Master of Life sharing, and nothing is to come between us and our source of life. So be well, be blessed. I do appreciate you stopping by.